In this video, we're looking at a scalping strategy involving a 5-minute and a 1-minute chart. This is NQ, but I'm sure you can use it on anything. And down below, we have the MACD, and on the chart, we have a 20 EMA. Now, the MACDs are a little bit different. They're both set differently. This bottom one is set to, on the 5-minute chart, it is set to 6, 20, and 9. And on the right-hand side, it is set to 3, 10, and 13. Why these numbers? Well, these are just numbers that I found to work really well when using the MACD for my style of trading. Okay, I find the stock standard 12.26 too slow on the 5-minute and also the 1-minute. I use the 5-minute chart as the parent chart, meaning I look for direction here, and the 1-minute chart is used for entries and exits. Okay, I'm a firm believer that if price is above the 20 EMA, it is long, and if it is below the 20 EMA, it is short. However, I do also use a 10. This chart here actually has a 6, so we could just I'll leave the 6 there. The 6 is the blue. But I also believe that if the 10 is above the 20, it is long also, okay? And if the 10 is below the 20, the markets are generally short, okay? The crossover of the 10 and the 20 also kind of corresponds with the MACD, okay? We can see here it looked like the market was going short, but it was just a pullback, a really deep pullback into negative territory here on the MACD. Just be very careful of those. They're a little bit hard to read sometimes, and that's why sometimes I do employ a 6 and a 10 EMA just to help me, and it just kind of corresponds with the MACD here. On the entry and exit side, the 1-minute chart, I just use the MACD. How I use this is I want to see price obviously pushing upwards towards the 20. And I also want to see the MACD line cross over the signal line here. And that signifies that I could be going long. If I put my mouse here and I look at the 5-minute chart, you can see the MACD was pointing down and the histogram was red, okay? Price was above the 20, okay? So it doesn't necessarily mean price was going down, right? It's just a deep pullback, and that's what you have to be able to read. On the 1-minute chart, it's the pullback happened here, and then it started to go back up again. So it's a little bit of eyeballing the charts. Nothing is perfect, but if you do decide to take this, that scenario, just be very, very cautious. I would always wait. Now, this is the NASDAQ from last night, and it was terrible to trade. I would always wait until you see hopefully something like this on the 5-minute chart where everything's pointing upwards. The MACD line's above 0, it's above the signal line, and the histograms are green. And on the entry side, on the 1-minute chart, that is where you also scalp, okay? I'm a scalper, I'm a sniper. I get in and I get out very, very quickly, okay? There's not much more to this strategy other than that. What I have done is I actually asked ChatGPT to put something together for me just so I could actually see what it looked like on paper, because this is inside my head. It's very interesting to see what it looks like when it's actually, I'm going to call it professionally drawn out, because I certainly wouldn't have put it this way. So if you do have a concept, go into ChatGPT and just tell it what you're doing, and it will come up with something like this. And it's very, very interesting to see how it puts it together. Yeah, very, very interesting. I've never really consulted ChatGPT in this way before. So that is my scalping strategy. I just want to say that it doesn't always work. I will read the market incorrectly. And I'll enter incorrectly at times. I'm getting better, but still, it's very difficult. There's one thing that I do really adhere to with the MACD is that the MACD line, for it to be a long trade, has to be above the zero line. And for shorts, the MACD really has to be, the MACD line, the blue line, really has to be below. Okay? The 20 EMA is also our zero level of the MACD. Okay? And you can see here that price pushed below the MACD, below the 20. It's not necessarily saying the market is short. I would rather see something like this if it's going short and then pulling back and then going down, which you might find on the 1 minute chart. So we can see here, this 1 minute chart, that it came down, it came back up, but it never pulled down for a short entry. Do you understand? It came down, it came up, and it just kept going up. Okay, it never came back here for an entry in here somewhere. So sometimes it's just best to wait on these shorter time frames. If you read it wrong and you miss the trade, so be it. There'll be another one, another day. Okay, we can just get rid of these other EMAs if you want, just to clear it up. I just like to turn them on and off. I just like to see where the 10 is. You know, if that 10 EMA is crossing above that 20, that's a really strong indication for me. I don't always just have it on the chart. I turn them on and off. I have one EMA that's a 20, and I have a triple here that's a 6, 10, and 20. Okay, and I can just turn them on and off. It's a bit too hard to come in here and keep clicking, one or two of these off. You can keep them on there if you like. That might help you, but it also might persuade you into thinking that the market's doing something other than what it is. But there you go. That's where I'm at so far with the MACDs and this scalping strategy on NQ. If we just quickly go to the Dow from last night, that was looking very, very good. Okay, and we can see here, it's a similar shape, but it wasn't as volatile as the NQ last night. I don't know what was going on with the NQ. So see here, it's not necessarily a short here. You'll look at the 1 minute and you go, oh, look, it's going short, it's going short. It is officially on the 1 minute short because the MACD line's under zero. Price is under the 10, the 6, 10, and 20. So that's something that you can do also, is scalp that. Okay, and there was 70 points. But you just need to just have a look at the asset that you're trading and sort of spend a lot of time with it, kind of get to know it, Is it a deep pullback at that time? That's just before the open at 9.25. Okay, and these things do move very, very quickly. So last night, this stayed up all night. I would have been just looking for longs, okay, all the way through there. I wouldn't have looked at any shorts on the NASDAQ, and I'm sure the S&P 500, is that it there, MES? And yeah, look, that was quite horrible. MES and the NQ was sort of looking the same. It's interesting, isn't it? And we'll just go to the Russell quickly. And the Russell was very volatile too. Very, very interesting. Anyway, let's just get back to the NQ. I do like the NQ. I think it's the best bang for buck. I do like to trade micro contracts. They're a tenth of the size, and I like to size in on those. All right, don't forget that ChatGPT. Very interesting. If you have an idea, just type it in and it comes out looking fantastic. Okay, I'll catch you later.